Is mod 1 for triangle position into half moon pose. Starting in mountain position. Feet hip distance apart, toes forward, stable through the lower body. Find that nice extension through the spine. Stepping back with one foot, we'll step back with the right foot, just finding about 3 or 4 feet between the heels. Right foot in at 45 degrees, left knee micro bend, pointing over the second and third toe of that front foot. Opening the torso, reaching the arms just below shoulder height. You're gonna reach your left arm forward, pushing your right hip back, and then when there's no more range of motion, just placing the left hand down on the inside of that left knee, reaching the right arm up. Gaze is forward, back of the neck is long. Trying not to collapse into that left body. Keep the left body really strong. Gravity's gonna wanna pull your torso to the floor, so we're using our core to stay supported. Check in with that left knee. Notice if the knee started to fall in. Maintain that external rotation of that quadricep, pushing into that left big toe mound. To transition into the balance, take a peek down at your left foot. Heel toe your right foot in, and then from here, start to test the water. Start to balance on that left foot, lift that right leg up, maybe you take a little break, until eventually you lift that right leg about 30 degrees up off the floor. The gaze starts to look towards the lifted leg. Balancing here, try not to hold the breath. To come out safely, bring your left knee into a bend, step your right foot back, and step back up to mountain. Take a breath here, big inhale, let it go. This is mod 1 for warrior 1. Starting from mountain position, step the left foot back, reach those arms up overhead, keep a micro bend into that back knee, fingers pointing straight up towards the ceiling. Shoulders down and back, eyes forward. Your eyes are soft and you're just gazing past the tip of your nose. Check for that right knee pointing right over the second and third toe of that right foot. Breathing here. Really activate the legs by pushing the feet down into the floor. Keep the belly pulled in. Breathe. Transitioning back to mountain, and of course, always doing the other side. This is mod 1 for the warrior 2 series. Starting from your mountain position, toes pointing forward, hands down by the side. You're gonna step back with your left foot. So about a leg's distance between the 2 feet. Your back foot is gonna be at about 70 degrees. Your right knee is tracking over the second and third toe, reaching those arms out, a little micro bend into the elbows, eyes are forward. The action is in the feet, so continue to push the feet down into the floor. From here, we transition into a reverse warrior. The legs stay the same. The left hand just comes to touch that back leg. We reach the right arm up slightly and our gaze moves past our right thumb. Eyes are relaxed. Finding a little lateral flexion into the spine, maintaining this action and heat into the legs. Holding here. And now moving into this last posture, come back through your warrior position. Extended right angle. Reach your right arm forward slightly. Turn, look to the left. Bring your right arm down on the inside of your right knee and reach the left arm up. Your right hand is just gently on the inside of your right knee. Spread the fingers of the left hand. Keep the back of the neck long. Keep those legs active. Push into the feet. Hug your belly in. Eyes forward. Relax your face. Push into your front foot. Come back up through to warrior. Into mountain position. This is mod 1 for crow. Starting with your feet in that mountain position, start to bend into the knees. Start by bringing your fingertips onto the floor. If everything feels okay here in your backs and your legs, place the hands down onto the floor, shoulder width apart. And now just start to come up onto the balls of the feet. Bring your knees to the outside of your arms. And then just start to rock forward and back. Just getting used to the idea of your body weight coming forward. Getting used to the body weight coming onto the hands. Bring your hips forward and back. This is mod 1 for the Evolve Yoga 1 cycle. You're gonna hear this throughout the series, so these are the modifications. Just do the best that you can. Starting from mountain position, hands down by the side. Inhale, reach the arms up overhead. Exhale, hinge at the hips, lowering the torso down towards the floor. Inhale, pulse up. Exhale, bend the knees, plant the hands, and step back into table position. Knees onto the floor, bend your elbows, keep your elbows tucked into the ribs, lower all the way down towards the floor. Release the tops of the feet down onto the floor, bring your elbows underneath your shoulders, hands flat to the floor, and lift up into a little baby cobra. From here, lower the forehead back down, slide the hands back beside the chest, curl the toes, lift back up onto all fours, lift the hips up and back, keep a bend into the knees, come into downward facing dog. Look forward, step your feet back between your hands, bring your hands by your sides, inhale, lift the chest, exhale to pulse. Inhale, reach the arms up overhead, exhale, back to mountain position. This is mod 1 for the cycle. Starting with your feet in mountain position, hands by the hips, palms open, eyes forward. Inhale, reach the arms up overhead, just shoulder width apart. Exhale, micro bend into the knees, hinge from the hips, reach those arms back. Take a little pulse here. Inhale, lift and lengthen the spine. Exhale, bend knees, hands to floor, step back to plank position, pause here. With control, place your knees down onto the floor, start to lower the chest down towards the floor. Inhaling up into a little baby cobra, top of the toenails onto the floor, back of the neck long. Exhale, curl the toes back under, push your knees and hands into the floor, lift back up to plank. Exhale, lift the hips up and back, downward facing dog. Breathing here, looking forward, step your feet back through your hands, feet hip distance apart. Lift and extend the spine, a little pulse, exhale, reach those arms back up overhead. Exhale, back to mountain position. Mod 1 for the pyramid posture into Warrior 3. Starting from mountain position, toes pointing forward, nice strong lower body, nice long spine. Stepping back with the left foot, keeping your right toes pointing forward, about 2 or 3 feet between the feet, hips pointing forward, shoulders stacked over the hips. Hands come down by the side, start to hinge forward from the hips, getting a nice stretch into that back leg. Action is in that back foot, really push into that left heel. Make sure there's no pulling in that front knee. If there is, please bend your front knee. Safety in the body first. Transitioning into Warrior 3 balance. Start to bend into that front knee, leave the hands as they are, and pick that left foot up off the floor 30 degrees. Action in that back foot. Keep dorsal flexing, squeeze the inner thighs, chest forward, back of the neck long. To come out, bend your front knee, step the left foot beside the right, mountain position, take a breath, and make sure that you do the other side. This is Mod 1 for the wide leg QL stretch. Starting with your legs in a V position, just opening those legs to a place where it feels comfortable for your inner thighs and bending the knees, making sure that you feel safe into the backs of your legs. Nice long spine. You're gonna reach your arms out, shoulder height, turn your palms up towards the ceiling. This is your setup. From here, we're gonna rotate along the axis of the spine first. So find your rotation towards the left. Place your right elbow on the inside of your right knee and bring your left fingertips just behind your left ear. From here, you're gonna take an inhale, and as you exhale, you're gonna lift your chest up towards the ceiling. The stretch here is in your QL, so that's that muscle that surrounds the lower back. The action here is in that left sit bone, so you're actively pushing that left butt cheek down into the floor as you lift the chest up towards the ceiling. To come out, draw your belly button into your lower back, come back up through to neutral, and take a breath. Breathe in, let it go, and make sure that you do the other side. This is Mod 1 for pigeon. Just coming into a kneeling position, rest your weight onto your right hip, bring your left knee back at about 90 degrees and your right foot forward as far as it feels comfortable so there's no pulling in your right knee. From here, place your hands just on either side of that right knee, lift out of the hips and just start to hinge forward, getting a nice stretch into that right hip. Breathing here, think opposition, so you're pushing your right knee and your right hip down into the floor, maintaining a nice length into the spine. So trying not to hang out and round and stretch here, stretching with that integrity into the spine, opening through the hips. And making sure that you do both sides. This is mod 1 for thread the needle. Starting in our 4-point position, knees under hips, doors eye flexion of the feet, hands under shoulders. You're gonna lift that right arm up like a bow and arrow, and then extend your right arm up towards the ceiling, opening through the shoulder first. From here, you're gonna thread the needle, bringing that right arm down towards that left knee. The left forearm's gonna come onto the floor, and the head may or may not touch the floor. Working to one day, maybe bring the head to the floor. If that's any strain on your neck or your shoulder, keep the head lifted up off the floor. Just getting a nice stretch here into the back of the shoulder. To come out, push into that left hand, use your core, come back to your tabletop position. Take a breath and make sure you do the other side. This is mod 1 for wheel. We're gonna start in a bridge position. So come to lie on your back, toes pointing forward, knees stacked over the ankles, palms face up to the ceiling. Actively push into the feet and lift the hips up to knee height. If the hips and the knees and shoulders are in one line, start to reach the arms out like robot arms. So you're pushing into the length of that upper arm bone, spreading the fingers, starting to think about bringing the weight into the shoulders. Nice long spine, back of the neck long, eyes up. Breathing into the chest here, opening through that full thoracic cavity here, stretching the intercostal wall. To come out, break at the hips, make sure the core is supporting the movement, place the hips down onto the floor, and breathe.